Greetings, my name is Mike Mitri, and I am the developer of an application called Story Analyzer. And this application blends natural language processing with data visualization to demonstrate the maxim, a picture tells 1,000 words. Story Analyzer has produced many dashboards. I'm going to focus this video on dashboards having to do with Trump-related investigative reports, and these are official government documents, including the Mueller report, Trump's first impeachment report, which had to do with the whole Ukraine and Burisma and that sort of thing, the January 6th report, which everybody knows all about, and Trump's indictments. I'm going to focus most of my attention today on the January 6th report, and I hope that after going through this demo and description, you'll find some interest in Story Analyzer. Let's look at the January 6th dashboard. You see a PDF showing how to use the dashboard, which I'm going through in this video. And on the left, you see a list of the actors and the witnesses. Many of the witnesses were also actors, but these were actually official witnesses according to the report. And also on the right, you see the organizations. These are listed in order of significance, which means how many times they're mentioned in the January 6th report. And there's 4 sections here. The chapters, fragments, and keywords, interactions network, times and places, and something else called other stuff, and I'll be going through these now. Now let's look at the chapters, text fragments, and keywords section of the report. You see a word cloud of keywords. These are words found in the report, sized according to frequency. You can see that election is found quite often in the report. And if you select a person or an organization from one of the lists, you'll see all the chapters where that person or organization appears. And obviously, you can see that Donald Trump is found in every section of the report. You can click a chapter. I'll pick chapter 2 to see the text fragments where Trump appears within that chapter. And hovering over these fragments will show the sentences with Trump highlighted in them. If I click a node, the text fragment remains in place. Now we're in freeze mode. I can move it around if I want. I can scroll up and down. And while in freeze mode, hovering over other elements has no effect. To leave freeze mode, click the text window, and I'm back where hovering has an effect again. Note also that clicking a chapter highlights in orange the keywords from the chapter associated with a selected person. You can hover over keywords to see the keyword and the selected person together. So here we see everywhere in chapter 2 that Trump and election appear together. If I click on the keyword, the text is frozen in place. Again, I can move and hover and scroll at will. Hovering has no effect like before. I can unfreeze by clicking, and then the hover effects take place again. If you click another person from the list, like Mark Meadows, you can see the chapters and text fragments for that person and navigate similarly as before. The next section of the dashboard is the interactions network. This is a network diagram depicting all of the associations between the actors, witnesses, and organizations of the report. People are depicted as blue dots, and organizations are depicted as red dots, and Trump is depicted as the large blue dot. And because Mark Meadows was selected from the list, we see him highlighted in green, and his links to other entities are shown in yellow or orange, except for the link to Trump, which is shown in red. If I click Trump's node while Meadows is selected, you can see that the link between them thickens, and it's shown in black. And I can hover over that link, and I will see the connections between Meadows and Trump. And I can click the link, and it freezes. And as before, the text that associates Meadows with Trump is highlighted, and you can scroll up and down. Let me unfreeze this. How about if I select John Eastman, and we can see Meadows' interactions with John Eastman as well. What if I pick Alex Jones from the lists? How does he interact with Trump? And there we have that. What if I pick the Proud Boys? And how do they interact with Trump? And here we have that. And Trump certainly seems to be the center of attention in this diagram, as you can see. The next section of the dashboard is called Times and Places. And on the left, you see a calendar of events. And on the right, you see a word cloud depicting the places of interest and of the report. And as you hover over a date in the calendar, you see whatever took place on that date. And there's two dates that I have highlighted in orange. One is the date of the election, and the other is, of course, January 6th. And we can take a look and see what happened on January 6th of 2021. And as you can see, a whole lot of stuff happened on January 6th of 2021. Also in this section of the dashboard, we have the places, and we can hover over a place and see what happened at that place. For example, we can see what happened at the Capitol, or in Arizona, or in Georgia, or in any of a number of other places. The next section of the dashboard I call Other Stuff. And here we see four word clouds, one of containing titles and positions, a second containing what I call crimes and danger, and then ideologies, nationalities, and religions, and then law codes. So if I wanted to see, for example, any place Attorney General comes in, we can see that here. Any place Vice President comes in, we can see that here. If I want to see where attack is talked about, and that comes up quite a bit, as does violence, as does intimidation. And then here we have the ideologies and the nationalities and the religions. And then also note that this is a legal document. And as a legal document, it contains references to laws that supposedly Donald Trump broke, or at least he's accused of breaking. And I can hover over a law, and I can see that law. And not only can I see the text fragments where that law occurs, but I can also actually go to an explanation of that law. And if I click here, it'll take me to Cornell Law School's website where it describes what the law is all about. I'd like to show a few other features of this dashboard. And let me open up Chapter 1 here. And as I hover through each of these, you might see some places where you see citations and references. For example, right here, you see a whole lot of citations to other things. And if I hover over a citation, you can see something. For example, you can see a transcribed interview of William Barr, which was citation 50. And if I go to another place right here, here's citation number 44. This is in chapter number 1. And you can see that actually there's even a reference to a Mother Jones article, which shows that Steve Bannon said Trump was planning to falsely claim victory. And if I click on it, it takes you right to that site. So there's a whole lot of corroborating evidence that is shown through citations to various places, websites, references to transcribed interviews. Many of these transcribed interviews you can actually look at yourself, and there's links to them. Donald Trump says this whole thing is a hoax. But if it's a hoax, it's got to be one of the most meticulously crafted and thoroughly researched hoaxes I've ever seen. I don't think it's a hoax. I think there's some real stuff to it. In this video, I focused on the January 6th report, but I'd like to point out that the Story Analyzer website includes dashboards to four uh, government documents having to do with Trump's dramas, going back to prior to his election as president. The Mueller report, the Trump Ukraine impeachment report, which was his first impeachment, the January 6th report, which led to his second impeachment, and also after his presidency ended, some indictments. All of these dashboards have the same look and feel, the same functionality, the same structure as the January 6th report. So if you can figure out how to navigate the January 6th report, those other three should be simple for you. I'd also like to invite you to play around with some other stuff that Story Analyzer does. I'm a bit of a philosophy buff, so maybe you'd like to see some of these readings from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. And of course, I'd also like you to, if you feel the desire, check out other things that Story Analyzer can bring to the table. Hopefully, you'll find something useful in it. And if so, please get in touch with me. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.